anguish amongst the 8,000 to 9,000 members that work for the Chicago Transit Authority, that support the system that affords the rest of Chicago to do what it does. It's a lot of anguish. And quite frankly, you're sitting on a powder keg.
Who moves Chicago?
We move Chicago!
Who moves Chicago?
We move Chicago!
Our contract ended December 31st, 2015. We've had approximately 25 to 30 contract meetings with the Chicago Transit Authority, who is being represented by Jackson Lewis, one of the biggest, largest union-busting firms here in the United States. President Carter of CTA has not attended one contract meeting. This is a great concern to me because I'm not sure who we're negotiating with, whether it's Chicago Transit Authority, whether it's the mayor of Chicago, whether it's politicians, whether it's powerful interest groups here in Chicago, or wherever it may be. I am not clear on who we are negotiating with. We have approximately 9,000 members between both locals, ATU Local 308, ATU Local 241, and approximately 9,000 retirees. This large body is part of the most important process that occurs in our cities, affording the rest of the city to function. We are not going to back down. We are not going to give in to these special interest groups, the powers that be. We demand respect. Again, our membership moves the city of Chicago. We are responsible for hundreds and hundreds of other businesses functioning, hospitals functioning, city government functioning, Franklin Street functioning, the financial district functioning, schools, kids getting to schools. We are responsible for so much in this city, and we are not receiving the respect we deserve, and we are not going to back down. Our contract asks are very moderate asks. They are not unreasonable. Specifics that we are not going to bend on at the contract table are items such as wages. We're asking for a 4.5% wage increase of a 3-year contract that'll total 13.5% raise. We're asking for more full-time jobs, affording members an opportunity to participate in the great pension system that we have here at the Chicago Transit Authority. We're proposing dynamically as we can, a better argument on why we should return to 100% health insurance plan. The current plan is 90%. We lost the 100% plan in the last contract, and that's taking a lot of money from our members. Again, wages, better health care, full-time jobs are meat and potatoes that we are not bending on at the contract table.
Hello, my name is Deborah Lane, and I'm a rail operator for the Chicago Transit Authority.
6 months ago, we realized that during contract negotiations, it's better to have power prior to the negotiation. We have then launched a campaign to galvanize our relationships with other unions, Chicago Teachers Union, SEIU, AFSCME, Arise Chicago, many political ties outside of our world that we need assistance with in getting a fair contract.
As part of our campaign on moving Chicago, we're all connected in so many ways. The transit union workers are workers who people rely on day to day, moving children, moving families, moving the worker, and a lot of those children, in fact, are Chicago Public School children, and so there's a connection in that piece. Also, the fact that a lot of the discrepancies within the Chicago Teachers Union Two, the ATU is experiencing a lot of those issues as well. It makes sense for us to be a part of the solidarity, that unity. We feel as though what we're doing internally in the Chicago Teachers Union to fight back a lot of the discrepancies and the discriminatory practices of Chicago Public Schools. Keep in mind, the mayor also is over Chicago Transit Authority, or at least, in part, he has his hands in on what happens, and so it just makes sense for us to be unified with the ATU.
On March the 8th, we will be attending the CTA board meeting at 9 o'clock. This is also International Women's Day, another one of our solidarity exercises that will give us the power we need to win over a fair contract, sitting at the table with the powers that be.
What's going on here today is International Women's Day all over the world, where women are being recognized in labor movement for their hard and diligent work. Today at Chicago Transit Authority, we're honoring the labor women by protesting through rallies and speeches all over the Chicago area, talking about our contract and the unfairness of the contract that we have been proposed by the Chicago Transit Authority.
Signs. No signs in the building, baby. Let's go out.
Let's take it out.
CTA, treat your workers right today. CTA, treat your workers right today.
I'm Tommy Sams, President Business Agent, ATU Local 241. We run the buses. I'm glad to see all these members out here this morning. Good morning, everybody. On this National, International Working Women's Day, I'm glad to see you all out here in support of what's going on with working women. We're talking equal pay for equal work. On the bus side, we just want respect. We want the CTA to fully understand that it's about respect. The disrespect of using porta potties for our female operators as well as the males, but especially for the women. We want to be able to say that pregnant women on the job will get fair and equal treatment. These are the issues that we're dealing with the Chicago Transit Authority. We just want them to do it right. We move the city. Do we move the city?
We move the city.
We move the city. So what else can you do for us other than respect us? We know what's going on at the contract. We're sitting in the contract and we're trying to negotiate for fair wages, fair contract, equal pay for our mechanics, for all the mechanics to get the equal pay that they get across the board. So what we're saying to CTA today is, I support every woman. I have daughters. I have a mother. These women out here, grandmothers, mothers, daughters, respect the work that they do. Respect that work, and not just today, but every day.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're here to let the CTA know that the women of Chicago, the women that serve you all, are not going to continue to tolerate with the toiletries and toilet actions that we have. We would like a nice, decent place to have to go. We don't want to work 3 and 4 hours and have to hold ourselves along the way to try and make amends for you all. We would like for CTA to consider the changing of those porta potties. They're very unsanitary and they're very not nice. So we ask that you consider, please consider the changes in those porta potties to regular toilets, secured, where we can be safe and sound as we relieve ourselves. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
I'm a customer service assistant. My name is Vanessa Garcia. I've been here for about 3 years and a half. When I returned from having my child, I had no accommodations for breastfeeding, for pumping. I was pumping in the bathrooms for weeks, and finally I had to give up, and that caused me anxiety and depression because I was planning on breastfeeding for a whole entire year. So I'm asking CTA that they really need to accommodate mommies and all these women. I'm asking CTA to accommodate all working mothers and all women. We all are out here trying to make a living, trying to feed our family. We shouldn't have to go through this treatment. We're just humans that are trying to make it out here. So I'm just asking for equal treatment, and we shouldn't have to go through these. In these times, we shouldn't have to go through that.
Thank you. Now we're going to be going upstairs if you guys want to hang around and attempt to get in the CTA board meeting.
Attempt.
And I really don't think the CTA wants the press that's going to come behind that if you don't let us in the meeting. I'm guessing that'll definitely make it. Okay, all right. Well, I'm CTA.
Good morning, Chairman Peterson, board members of the Chicago Transit Authority, President Carter. I'm hearing a lot of beautiful things that CTA is doing, extending service and bringing aboard Google. But what I'm not hearing is the quality of working conditions that the workers are under being addressed. The workers are going through tremendous policies that need to be updated, they're antiquated, and they are very stringent. They're creating conditions that are unsafe. They're creating conditions that your workforce, my members, President Sam's members, are not afforded a lifestyle that produces a healthy environment. So I'd like to know what you know about the working conditions down on with the people that work on the ground, that make this system work, that support the system. If I may, I'd like to have one of my personnel show you some pictures of the homeless situation on the train that my workers deal with every day. Those photos contain a homeless person that's defecated in the facility at Park and Lake. Pictures of about 10 to 15 homeless men that are sleeping on the train, and there's a bag with many needles that were swept off a train by the car service in the morning.
Because of the homelessness issue, we're dealing with a lot of inhumane things that are going on the buses and rails, like the bed bug issues, urine, human defecations, men that are indecently exposed that we have to get off the trains and the buses. And as women, we rate ourselves on respect, pride, and dignity. And at this point, we feel that all of that has been diminished because there has been no real resolution to what we need to do, what they need to do on the transit side to resolve the issues. So that's the major issue that we're dealing with. Some of these homeless people we don't know, or some of the people that have been riding the train vigorously, repeatedly, we don't know what walks of life they've came from. And as women of rail transit, we have to remove these people from the train once we get to the end of the line. And sometimes these men are very violent towards us, and some of them want to attack us, they threaten us and things of that nature. So safety is a great concern.
She got a job, she got a career. I heard the goddamn word she said, but you don't want to hear the real view from a homeless Vietnam vet. You don't want to hear my point of view, do you? No, you don't. I heard the word you said.
Get your card.
But you don't want to hear a real Vietnam vet point of view, don't you? Yes or no?
And we thank you for serving our country too.
No, you don't.
Thank you for serving the country, sir.
God bless the least you did that.
Yes, thank you. God bless you. So that's a perfect example of some of the things that we have to deal with here at the transit company, and we're very remorseful, and we pay homage to our veterans and the men at war. We feel that they shouldn't be thrown and put out on the streets, and this is where the governor and the mayor plays a vital part. Like again, I'm a woman, and even with this guy just talking about him being a veteran and homeless, it really touches the heart. Because in these day and times in America, it shouldn't be like this. But again, these are our riders, and this is what we have to face. And the insensitive of people in the political realm, them desensitizing themselves from what's really going on in America is just a shame. Whew.